Breaking news! Arsenal has received a boost in their transfer options to find a replacement for Bukayo Saka after PSG decided to search for a substitute for Kylian Mbappé. Meanwhile, the striker with 43 goals that Arsenal wants to sign has broken his silence about his future, making his transfer position clear. Stay with me until the end of the video to check out the latest Arsenal news straight from the Emirates Stadium. But before that, if you're as passionate about Arsenal as we are, don't waste any time and subscribe to our channel right now to stay updated on everything happening with the greatest team in the Premier League. And without further ado, let's dive into today's top news. There's less than a week left in the summer transfer window, and Arsenal might still be looking to add some final touches to their squad before the deadline hits. The Gunners have already made a couple of moves, with David Raya signing a permanent deal and Riccardo Calafiori also coming on board. It looks like Mikel Merino is about to be the next addition, with a transfer from Real Sociedad to Arsenal on the horizon. On the flip side, Emile Smith Rowe has packed his bags for Fulham, but the transfer rumors aren't stopping there for the Arsenal squad. Eddie Nketiah is being talked about for a move to Nottingham Forest, and even Aaron Ramsdale has caught the eye of some Premier League clubs. If any more players do leave, Mikel Arteta might just dip back into the market to find a few reinforcements for the upcoming season. One position he could be eyeing is a backup for Bukayo Saka, who's been absolutely crucial for Arsenal on the right wing in recent years. Ademola Lookman to Arsenal transfer latest. One name that's been floated as a possible backup for Saka at Arsenal is Atalanta's Ademola Lookman. The forward seems to be available for a move away from the Serie A side this summer after having a standout season where he played a key role in helping them secure the Europa League title. There's been talk of PSG being interested in bringing the 26-year-old on board, possibly as a replacement for Kylian Mbappé. But things have taken an interesting turn that could give Arsenal an opening to swoop in for the winger. According to journalist Florian Plettenberg, PSG isn't currently willing to meet the financial demands needed to sign Lookman. This makes the deal unlikely and leaves the door open for other clubs, including Arsenal, to make a move for the former Everton player. This could be a big advantage for the Gunners as they keep exploring options to bring in another forward before the window closes. Nico Williams has been mentioned as a potential late addition, with the Athletic Bilbao star catching Arsenal's eye after a strong year. But Lookman is also a solid choice, given his ability to play anywhere across the front three and bring a lot of quality to the team. Do Arsenal need a backup to Bukayo Saka? With all this talk about Lookman and Williams potentially joining, it raises the question, does Arsenal really need a backup for Saka? There are definitely some concerns about his fitness, workload, and the risk of injuries, especially considering he clocked up 3,865 minutes on the pitch last season, and with the new Champions League format adding more games early on, those minutes are only set to increase. Still, despite the heavy schedule, it's obvious that Saka is a top-notch player who Arteta depends on regularly. Arteta has the tricky job of balancing his squad, finding players who can start regularly and others who are okay with more occasional appearances. On the left, there's a healthy competition between Leandro Trossard and Gabriel Martinelli, both fighting for that starting spot. But when it comes to Saka, his quality is so undeniable that it might be hard to convince a new signing to join, knowing they'll be second choice behind the Hale-End graduate. That's why Rice Nelson's role could be ideal. He brings the right balance to the team, accepting his position while still being ready to step up when needed. Arsenal target Victor Gyökeres shares his transfer stance. As the summer transfer window countdown continues, Arsenal might just be in for a surprise before the deadline next Friday. Mikel Arteta has hinted that we could see some unexpected moves as the window closes, with efforts focused on strengthening the squad for their title chase. Arsenal's main goal is to finish ahead of Manchester City, who have outpaced them in the last couple of seasons. With City recently adding Ilkay Gundogan to their squad, the pressure's on Edu to match their moves in the market. Things could get exciting soon, especially with a former Arsenal target recently dropping some news about his future. Earlier this summer, Arsenal had their sights set on Victor Gyökeres, who's been making waves in Portugal since joining Sporting CP in 2023. The ex-Coventry City striker had a stellar 2023-24 season, smashing in an impressive 43 goals in his debut year at Sporting. It's no wonder Arsenal are interested in him. Recently, Gyökeres has spoken about his future, as Fabrizio Romano reported. With all the buzz around the 26-year-old this summer, Gyökeres hinted that you never know what might happen with his future in Lisbon. You never know what happens. I feel very good at Sporting, but in football, there are things you don't even know. I feel very good here. I'm very happy at Sporting and I don't have any problem. Naturally, the forward, who has a 100 million euros, 85 million pounds release clause in place in Portugal, played down the noise over his future, however, failed to rule out a move. Gyökeres should still be on Edu's radar. If Victor Gyökeres' debut season is any indication, his second year in Lisbon could be even more spectacular. He's already hit the ground running with 6 goals in just 3 Liga Portugal games, continuing the impressive form from last season. Even though Arteta has downplayed the immediate need for a striker, Arsenal should definitely keep an eye on Gyökeres. The potential goal-scoring impact he could bring to the team is huge. Whether it happens this summer or later on, signing the Sporting talisman would be a dream move for many, especially since he's showing no signs of slowing down. Arsenal are really pushing to sign £25 million player in addition to Mikel Merino before deadline day. Arsenal kept up their strong start to the season with a solid 2-0 win over Aston Villa yesterday. The North London side had to dig deep for much of the match until Leandro Trossard broke the deadlock with the first goal. Thomas Partey then added a second to wrap up the 3 points at Villa Park, a venue where Arsenal came up short last season. After the game, Mikel Arteta hinted that Arsenal might still bring in another player before the transfer window closes on August 30th. It's now come to light that the club is actively chasing a goalkeeper from across the continent. Arsenal pursuing Joan Garcia. Arsenal have been eyeing Joan Garcia for much of the summer as they seek to secure a backup goalkeeper in case Aaron Ramsdale moves on. Ramsdale is currently in discussions about joining Wolves, which has prompted Arsenal to intensify their pursuit of Espanyol's Garcia. As reported by Spanish outlet AS, they're reportedly making a strong push to sign the 23-year-old, who had an outstanding breakout season in La Liga 2 last year. Garcia is also attracting interest from Tottenham Hotspur and is expected to come with a price tag of around £35 million, which is believed to be his release clause. Emi Martinez tells £24 million Arsenal player with a great future that he needs to leave immediately. Emiliano Martinez has certainly made a name for himself since his departure from Arsenal for Aston Villa in 2020. Mikel Arteta secured his first and only trophy with Arsenal while Martinez was in goal, winning the FA Cup shortly before Martinez moved on. Although Martinez hasn't added any silverware to his collection with Unai Emery at Villa yet, he has achieved impressive success with Argentina. He now boasts a World Cup medal and has won the Copa America twice. Quite an impressive haul. On the flip side, Arteta has found his new number 1 in David Raya. Raya's arrival last summer pushed Aaron Ramsdale to the sidelines, despite Ramsdale's recent inclusion in the PFA Team of the Year for the 2022-23 season. With Ramsdale now expected to leave Arsenal, the club is leaning towards a permanent transfer rather than a loan move in the coming weeks. Emi Martinez tells Aaron Ramsdale that he's too good to be a substitute at Arsenal. In an interview with The Telegraph, Emiliano Martinez echoed Arsenal's view that it might be the right time for Aaron Ramsdale to move on from the club. Martinez acknowledged that Ramsdale's situation now is different from when he was at Arsenal, but still felt that a move to a club like Wolves would be a positive step for him. Martinez said, "I think it's a different position. He signed for £24 million. He was the number 1 for Arsenal. I never had a chance like that. When you play every game in the Premier League and then you drop to the bench with the quality that Aaron has, I think he should find a place to play where he feels loved. I heard he might go to Wolves, which I think could be a good move for him. He is a player that England needs in their goalkeeping area. He has a great future." Several clubs are currently interested in Ramsdale, who is still a top quality goalkeeper. Even though Arteta doesn't see Ramsdale as the starting keeper at Arsenal, it doesn't mean the 26-year-old is past his prime. In fact, some might argue that with all due respect to Wolves, Ramsdale should be aiming for a move to a higher profile club. Well folks, those were the main news for today. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated on everything happening with our beloved team, you know what to do. Subscribe to the channel now and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any updates. Thanks for joining us, and until the next video.